scrimmage. I did it in the scrimmage. I did it in the game the other night. It's like, don't do this, don't do this, don't. And you got those two voices talking. It was like, do it, do it, do it. And I did. And I was like, and then Joe missed it. I was like, come on, Joe.
Good people, it's your boy Mr. Rome, Cowboys Fan Talk, right back. Like I never left. What's going on with y'all? Happy Friday. I hope everything is going phenomenally for you. I am great because last night was a dope conversation that sparked my interest. But before I get too far into the content, do me the biggest favor, man. Hit the subscribe button. If you're new here and you like the content, that would be amazing. Y'all been running it up. I think I'm getting like around 40 to 50 subscribers a day. That is amazing. We heading towards 33K, and I appreciate you. If you back like you never left, you already subscribed, I appreciate you too. Now, Brian Schottenheimer and the culture physicality conversation, which we have been talking about for, I don't know, the better part of 6 months, I feel like. I know. Since we hired Brian Schottenheimer, he's been preaching culture change and this and that and physicality and trenches, and he drafted a offensive guard in the first round, and we got to establish the line of scrimmage, and that stuff is true. I'm not patronizing that at all, but the thing that pissed everybody off last week is when we get into the first game, we like, all right, let's establish the run. Let's see what these running backs look like. 7 passes in a row, I believe. Correct me if I'm not wrong. 7, and we were like, this ain't quite matching what you was telling. So it kind of sparked outrage, and people being like, yo, Brian ain't nothing but a puppet, and the Jones family got him wrapped around their finger. And I was mad too. I feel like we came out flat. Last game just didn't leave enough to be desired, but then an interview happened yesterday, and all of it was yesterday, might have been the day before, but it was dropped yesterday. Shout out to DLLS, shout out to Jesse Holly, Clarence Hill, Jeff Kavanaugh. They were doing an interview with Brian Schottenheimer, and Jesse Holly specifically got a chance to ask him the question everybody been wanting to know. Hey man, what you been preaching and what we've been seeing, it ain't making sense, right? And I'll play in a second, but I want to explain to you why I like what Jesse said, and why I loved Brian Schottenheimer's answer. You got to realize, Brian been wanting this job forever. His dad was a coach, Marty Schottenheimer, a legend. Marty Ball, a legendary term for the way you run your football team, the way you play. So Brian he was almost probably tapped like, you're going to be the next great head coach, and he never got the job. He led number one offenses in multiple places. A lot of running the ball in those stops too. He's worked for amazing, legendary coaches. Never got a chance. So you got to think, when you're waiting your time, biding your time, you probably say to yourself, when I get my chance, when I get my shot, I'm doing it my way, right? So listen to his answer to Jesse Holly's question, and then let's talk about it.
I have to be honest with you. I've been on this show, and I've talked about your openness, right? Your gift to gab, and you have that, and you've wowed a lot of people with the things that you've said. But as men, we always want to make sure the things that we're saying match the actions that we've want to put out there. And I think for me, I've said a couple times that you talked about being a running physical football team, and do these things. And sometimes you show situations where it's like hey, 6 passing plays in a row, and there's some things that I was like, all right, cool. I hear what you're saying, but sometimes it doesn't always show. Talk me through it. Like, put me in my place, or talk me through it of what you're saying, and then how was it implemented on the football field, and those pockets where you go, well, he said he was going to be a physical running team, and then he opens up with 6 passes, or he said it's going to be a physical football team. And I know today you kind of Marquise got thrown out one of a play, one play by you, because you were like, hey, he loaded Boom a little bit on Mingo.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, how does that all come together from what you say and then it matching up and lining up with the things that you do?
Well, I love the question, number one. And I will say this, the one thing I will always be with you and everybody, the fans, the players, I will always be authentic. I'm always going to tell you what I think and what I believe. Here's what I would say to you. We went into that game last week with a very specific purpose.
Okay.
We wanted to kind of put Joe out there and sling it around a little bit. That was the plan, and see how he handled it. And quite honestly, we started slow. We had limited opportunities. I wouldn't read too much into what you see in the preseason. The preseason is for evaluation. I don't have to go out there on the first preseason game or even this game against Baltimore, Atlanta, and run it 50 times to show that. I think I would go to my history.
Okay.
My history of coordinator in Seattle, led the league in rushing in 2018. Coordinator in 2008 in New York Jets, led the league in rushing. So again, I appreciate, love the question. The question's a fair question, but I wouldn't read too much into what you see in preseason football in general, but even more this year. Why? Well, we're trying to evaluate certain guys, and Joe Milton's a guy that needs to play a lot of football. He's going to play a lot of football this week and then the next week, and we're certainly being smart with what we show. And why would we do that? We would do that because this is the one chance that we'll ever have here in Dallas where we don't show people in the preseason what we're doing, because next year they're going to have a really good idea. They're going to have hopefully 20 plus games to look at and evaluate. This year they don't have that. Hey, are we going to be Seattle? I don't know. Are we going to be Arizona? I don't know. Well, what about, are we going to be Dallas? And I kind of like that.
That's my coach. Like T.O. said, that's my quarterback. That's my coach. I rock with it. Like I said yesterday, Brian Schottenheimer has a plan. A plan. You might not like the plan. The plan might not work. And a lot of y'all are going to use the results to dictate how y'all like Brian Schottenheimer. That's like most things in life. If it works, you're going to be like, yo, I knew he was going to be great. And if it doesn't work, you're going to be like, I knew he was trash. Y'all just waiting. A lot of y'all not willing to step out on a limb like myself and say, I like Brian Schottenheimer. I'm going to support him because he has a plan. Hearing him say, yo, I want to wait to show my hand. This will be the last time I can do that. Speaking confidently, like I'll be here in the next couple of years. I don't want them to see the game plan quite yet. You don't know if it's going to look like Arizona, where Clayton Allen was from, Connor Riley, some of the college stuff, Dallas stuff that we've been doing already, amalgamation of all, which is what I think. But y'all are so used to us doing the same offense the last couple of years, running upfield and shout to Botch, turning around, that you're not ready for the new offense, the condensed splits, and the motion. You're not ready for that. I like it. I can't wait to see it. But he seems like he knows exactly what he wants to do. Now, featuring Joe Milton, some of that's Brian. I think a lot of that is Jerry Jones. Go show my backup quarterback off. They can throw the ball far so I can start a controversy and stir things up, as Jerry loves to say, which is goofy. Y'all owner is goofy. Wants to stir things up. Like, football-wise, I love what they're doing. I do. Because the biggest gripe, my biggest gripe with Mike McCarthy, he didn't have a plan. He used to just go out there and freestyle it. Well, I'm going to run the ball 8 times in a row, a couple of stop routes. It just didn't seem like we had a game plan ever. We didn't have counter punches. We weren't prepared when people took our best punch away. We just was out there flailing. Some games it would work because our talent would dominate, Dak, CD, etc. And when they take CD away and they make it hard for Dak to get it to the other receivers, there was no plan. And at bare minimum, the way Schottenheimer eloquently speaks about what he wants to do, not detailed on exactly what we're doing, on what he wants to do, I believe him. He's confident. He threw a couple of things back at Jesse. Yeah, that's the number one offense. You know, I give it up. Like, I like the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Now we need him to execute. Brian, I need you to go prove me right, as people want to prove you wrong. And we're going to see. We're going to see. I'm just like, when I hear him talk and I hear his response confidently come back at Jesse, it excited me. He also said something else yesterday that stood out to me.
I got mad. I threw a bomb. How do you not say, forget it, F it? Let me throw to Dak. Let me throw to Dak to CD, Dak to George Pickens. It's easy as a play caller not to fall in love. You see Pickens catching the ball off the top of people's head. CD is still unguardable. I got Cavante Turpin right here. How do you say, I want to wing it with these guys?
Well, I do. I just don't in the preseason. You know, I do. I can't wait. And that doesn't mean we're not going to be physical. But again, I do. I get excited. I lay in bed at night and I'm like, whoa, we got some dudes out there.
Right.
You know, those guys know how to ball. And so it's one of the things where you're like, okay, just, and it does happen, man. It happened in the scrimmage. I did it in the scrimmage. I did it in the game the other night. It's like, don't do this, don't do this, don't. And you got those two voices talking, and it was like, do it, do it, do it. And I did, and I was like, and then Joe missed it. I was like, come on, Joe.
Now, when I heard that, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little frustrated because that's definitely contradicting what he's been talking about. I want to air it out. So now you on the clock, Brian. Brashadi, you on the clock. Now I really got to see, because you are preaching something else and saying something different. So it's a little confusing, but confusion can be good. Let's just see how it works out. I would let her know what y'all think in the comments about Brashadi admitting I want to air it out. Because look, we got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and we got two of the best receivers in the league. You're going to use them. We ain't Philly. Like, we know how to use our receivers. But if we don't have balance, we're not going to have no real success. It's going to end how it has always ended. So we have to get the run game established. But I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. I just wanted to tap in and talk about that before tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game is going to tell more to this story. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I holla.